A thin, hairy bear tethered to a rope laced through his nose's tissue waves his paws and moves spasmodically on his hind legs before an audience. It should seem unlikely that this sad sight could be accepted as enjoyable entertainment by anyone. But failures of human empathy are omnipresent, and many people are unable to understand that animals do not enjoy acting like humans, that, in fact, they have to be forced to do so, usually through cruel means. Like many other kinds of animal performance, making bears dance has a long history stretching back to ancient times. Today, the practice takes place mostly in countries of the Indian subcontinent, including India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. Almost invariably, the bears are exploited by very poor people who have few economic options. So initiatives to save the dancing bears must encompass programs to improve the prospects of their human owners. The bears in this trade are mostly sloth bears, though some Asiatic black bears are also used. The sloth bear, or Molursus ursinus, is a nocturnal forest dweller native to the subcontinent, where some 8,000 exist in the wild. Another 1,000 or so, estimates vary from 500 to 2,000, are held in captivity and used as performers. Sloth bears are one of the smaller bear species, about 30 inches tall at the shoulder and some 5 feet long. They weigh on average 200 to 250 pounds. They have a long, shaggy black coat with whitish or yellowish hair on the snout and on the chest, where it forms a distinctive crescent. Their primary diet consists of ants and termites, supplemented by honey, fruit, grains, and small vertebrates. In the wild, a sloth bear can live more than 20 years. In captivity, however, a dancing bear rarely lives past the age of 7 or 8. Until recently, bears were also used in Europe for this purpose. Bulgaria was the last country in Europe to use dancing bears. As in India, the occupation was a tradition of nomadic tribes, in this case, the Roma. The last 3 dancing bears in Bulgaria were surrendered to a sanctuary. However, in spite of the European law against the trade, several incidents were reported in Spain. I was really upset about it. How much pain did that animal have to go through to learn such unnatural stunts? Asked a witness who unexpectedly came upon the performance of a bear dancing, clapping, and rolling over for spectators at a market near Seville. The question is astute. The behavior that audiences are encouraged to interpret as dancing is the product of aversive training. The Roma training method involved greasing the bear's paws and having them stand on hot plates while music played. The bears hopped on the plates to avoid the burning pain, which became associated in their minds with the sound of the music. Eventually, just hearing the music caused the bears to repeat this dancing movement. The dancing bears of India are primarily under the control of a nomadic people known as the Kalandar, who come from a line of tribesmen who once entertained northern India's Mughal empires with trained animal acts. Thus, working with animals for entertainment is the traditional livelihood of the tribe, whose people have sidelines selling animal parts as medicines and good luck charms.
Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story.
The Kalandar are recognized by the Indian government as an economically deprived tribe, although efforts to help them have been few. Investigators from international animal welfare organizations are working with them and are helping them obtain better economic conditions. Programs have been established by cooperating national and international organizations, such as the Wildlife Trust of India, or WTI, Wildlife SOS, World Animal Protection, and International Animal Rescue, that are aimed at helping the bears and helping the Kalandar. They seek to persuade the people that a livelihood that uses animals for entertainment is not sustainable. For example, the acquisition of a bear is a source of pride and prestige, but bears are expensive, and the mortality rate is high, especially in the first 3 years of a bear's life. The bears are poached from the wild as cubs, an act that often necessitates killing the mother first. Some cubs, traumatized, die of shock. Others succumb to neglect or dehydration. Survivors are sold to trainers who use sticks and physical threats to teach the orphan cubs to stand, move on their hind legs, and perform other tricks. The cubs' teeth are often knocked out or broken for the safety of humans. Their nails are clipped short or removed, both of which are painful to bears. And a hot poker or piece of metal is run through the snout or lip to make a permanent hole through which a rope is anchored to control the bear. All of this is done without anesthesia. The trainers make the bears move by pulling on the rope, which causes great pain, and beating the bears if they do not obey. The owners, being poor themselves, cannot feed the bears a nutritionally sound diet even if they want to, and many bears lose their fur or suffer from cataracts and go blind. The Indian government outlawed bear dancing in 1972. The practice has continued, however, partly because the calendar had no alternative, and also because, until the early 21st century, there was no place to put confiscated bears. Enforcement was therefore somewhat pointless. Special licenses were granted to the calendar so they could continue, while the WSPA and Wildlife SOS created a bear sanctuary at Agra. Although it is difficult to abandon long-held cultural and economic practices, the calendar have been willing to do so, provided that they are given the help they need to make a new start. In exchange for the bears, the calendar are given job training and equipment for alternative occupations, such as welding and manufacturing useful products such as soap and incense. Some run small stalls and shops. The first group of some 24 rescued bears went to the Agra Sanctuary in 2003. Since then, more than 350 bears have gone to that facility, and 2 others, one in Banagatta near Bangalore, and another in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh state. The sanctuaries are run by Wildlife SOS. Other animal welfare organizations contribute funding. The rescued bears are first quarantined and given medical care. Once they are healthy enough to undergo surgery, the ropes are removed from their noses, which are usually severely infected and bleeding. The sanctuaries also provide environmental stimulation, including dens and swimming pools in which to cool off. The rescued bears are socialized to get along together in a more natural, bear-like existence, but most of them cannot be released into the wild and must depend on human care. Having lived long in human company, they would not know how to survive on their own. However, a particular case occurred in April 2007 when authorities in Manghir district, Bihar state, confiscated a group of 4-month-old orphan bear cubs from poachers who were planning to sell them to Calendar. The 5 cubs had already had their teeth removed, and their muzzles had been pierced in preparation for the insertion of ropes. Although they had lost their mothers and had not benefited from regular bear mother training, the cubs were still young enough to have retained some natural instincts, and thus were candidates for reintroduction into the wild. After providing the cubs with dental and veterinary care, officials undertook to give the bears lessons in being wild. They helped them climb trees, dig for termites, and make dens. Officials of the program, a cooperative effort of the WSPA, the WTI, and the Bihar Forest Department, reported in July that the cubs were regaining their natural instincts and engaging in normal sloth bear behavior. It was expected that they would soon have no need for human-provided food and could be released into a forest range in a protected area among a wild population of sloth bears. When dancing bears are saved from indentured servitude to regain their health and freedom, both the bears and their rescuers experience great relief. Said WTI Program Officer Arjun Nair, "For us, the happiest moment was cutting off the restrictive nose ropes and muzzles. The bears found themselves free for the first time to be themselves, not performers, not jokers to be derided and give amusement to people, but just be bears."
If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.